how to fix your Nintendo Switch 2 not connecting to your television. So if you're having issues connecting your Switch 2 to your television, then I'm going to show you a few ways we can go and fix this. Now the first step is we just need to make sure everything is connected correctly. So what you want to do is come round to the back of the dock like so. And what you need to have here is an AC adapter that runs from your dock over to your power outlet. So this is what this cable looks like. It's basically a USB-C cable that slots into the dock here, and the other end of this needs to be plugged in to your main power supply. Now you also need to make sure that this AC adapter is the official Nintendo adapter. If you're trying to use an aftermarket adapter or another brand, then this is likely the reason it's not connecting. Now the second thing you need is a HDMI cable that runs from the back of the dock over to your television. So as you can see down here, I already have my HDMI cable plugged in, and this runs to the back of the television like so. Now you also have a LAN port at the bottom down here. Now this is if you're using a wired internet connection, but if you're using wireless, you don't need to worry about this port. Now the second thing you need to do is make sure your Nintendo Switch is inserted correctly into the dock. So as you can see in the middle of the dock, we have this small port at the bottom down here, and you need to make sure that this port aligns to the bottom of your Nintendo Switch. So you may need to wiggle this around slightly to make sure it's inserted correctly. You can also try gently pushing down on the switch. Just make sure that the switch is fully secured. And then once you've done that, we can come round to the physical television. So on your television, it may just pop up straight away identifying the Nintendo Switch, but oftentimes we need to change the source on our television in order to detect the switch. Now every television is going to be slightly different, but what you need to do is on the remote control, you should have a source button. So this is what mine looks like here, and this will allow us to change through the different input modes on the TV. Now my HDMI cable is going to HDMI port 1 on the back of my television, so that's the input source I need to go and change this to on my television. Now if you're not sure which HDMI port you're connected to, then you can just try running through all of these different source modes until you find the input that's connected to your Switch. Now you can also try changing the HDMI port as well. So if for example you currently have your HDMI cable in port number 1, then you could try changing this to HDMI number 2 or 3, and then you would need to come back over to the sources on your television and you can try swapping it over to that specific port. Now if you have tried all of the steps and it's still not connecting to your television, then I'd recommend just performing a hard reset on your Switch. Now to do this, we just need to come over to the power button located in the top left hand side, and we're going to hold this button down for around about 20 seconds. So you may see a couple of things pop up on the Switch. Just go and ignore all of that and keep holding this button down. After about 20 seconds, the screen should go completely black, and then we can just release the power button and then tap the power button one single time to go and turn it back on. Once the switch is back on, you can then once again make sure you're connected to the correct input on your television, and hopefully that should have now fixed any connection issues.